Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we're Masechet Zevachim, daf Mem Aleph. We're going to begin on Mem Aleph and Aleph, about 6 lines from the top. Pardon my cold. Lapar. The pasuk says par, Zepar Helen Davar Shel Tzibor. This has to do when the Beis Din makes an erroneous psak, and the majority of the people follow suit. So in that situation, the machlokes and Horius who brings the par, but keeping it simple, the Beis Din would have to bring the par. So Hobet Sibor Gufiksiv. The question is that this pasuk is talking about Betsibor. So look at Rashi. Rashi says, let's find the Rashi. Vehem aviu as karbanam. No. Let's see. There isn't any Rashi in this. Okay, let's keep going. Somra Papa Mishum de Boya Mure Par Helm Davar Shel Tzibor Biaseris Vishter Koloyos L'Seiri Vas Kachavim. Because we needed this pasuk tell us regarding the sa'ir for Vas Kachavim, regarding the diaphragm and the kidneys, Par Helm Davar Shel Tzibor V'Gufa Lo Ksiv, and that it's not explicitly written. Bekeshasi Israch Lapar. It's like it's actually written itself. So it's actually not comparable to something which is learned from a hekesh to go back to revert to a hekesh. Okay, let's look at question 9. But it doesn't say by par helm davar shel tzibor. So it's mashal a melech basav adam. Did we do this yet? A second. It's melech to basav adam. Let's just see what he says here. Shekas al avoi. He gets angry at his people that he loves. Umiat besar chuno mimnechi basoi. Kimoitzi medavar kitzer kasa bekar min atzibor mimnechi basam. Okay, let's look at Rashi. Let's make sure we find this. There's got to be a Rashi on this, right? I'm saying that there isn't. Not really sure where that's found in the Rashi. Okay, let's keep going. Tani kivas to the Rapapa. Vyasa kashirasa. You're supposed to do the same thing. The whole pasuk you do with a par just like you would have done for the par chatos. Matam l'par of Hishnamar behemi aviu as karbanoim ishol Hashem and gaimer chatosom el sirvas kachavim. This is referring to the carbon that's brought for avodah zarah. Shkagasam zeparim davar shel tzibor chatasam al shkagasam. So amar Torah chatasam harihi l'cha kishkagasam. Your chet is like a is like a shaygig. Okay. Fine. Shkagasam mehechen l'marata. Where do we learn that? Lo behekesh v'chidavar lo behekesh chazim lo behekesh. How could you learn it from a hekesh? Tomad lo par zeh par elam davar shel tzibor lo par zeh par koy Mashiach. Amar mar chatasam el siri avos kachavim. Typically mikra kama. Learn from the first pasuk the Yomi mar hachatos l'rabbi siri avos kachavim. So why do you need another hekesh? So Papa Yisroch Zagdar Ramina Hanamili Hazai 67 Begufe. You would think it's only referring to the actual sprinkling which is actually found in the Pesukim. As we continue Mem Alpha Mebeis, Abu Yaseris Akavi, Vishtai Koyas Tokstima Begufe, Imalo Kamash 1. So it's coming to tell you that it's also including the diaphragm and the 2 kidneys. Amalei Rav Hun Bereid Rav Nachman Rav Papa V'Hatanan Par Yom Kippur Mechol Mashiach Rabbeinu Kaimer is referring to everything anyway. So says Rashi V'Yafil Ikuva Yad Amrit Los is Dam B'Tvila. So Tanaihi Tana Debei Rav Merabi Hachi Tana Debei Rabbi Shmuel Lo Merabi Hachi Tana Debei Rabbi Shmuel Mivniman Nemer Yaseres Nishtei Kol Yais. This is actually question 9. Bepar Kayin Mashiach Bepar Helm Dever Shel Tzibor. Why is it not mentioned by the Tzibor, but it's only mentioned by the Kohen Gadol? Here's the answer. Mashal Melch Basim Adam Shazam Al Avoy. He got angry at the Tzibor. Umiyat Be Sarchuno. So he doesn't talk about it too much. Nimnechi Basai, because he loves them. That's the answer. How come by the Parhel Davar Shel Tzibor it doesn't have as many psukim? Is because when it comes to the Tzibor, Hashem doesn't want to talk too much about it. Why, when it comes to the paroiches, the sprinkling, it says the word hektish. It doesn't say that word by Parhel Davar Shel Tzibor. So again, Mashal Melch Basim Adam Shisarchalav Medina, that the people in the country rebelled. Im Miuta Sarcha. If, let's say, a small amount of people rebelled, so Pamal Yishlom is Kayemes, then the army remains. Im Ruba Sarcha. However, if the majority of the people rebel, the in Pamal Yishlom is Kayemes, then it cannot endure. Says Rashi, Harihu Masoilik Bechibasam, he leaves his love for them. Machnisa B'mixas, Vein Libo Gas Behen Kirishayna, he doesn't feel the same way as he did before. Achanami Kivander of Tzibur Tsarcha, because Bar Parhel and Davar Shel Tzibur, the majority of the people made a mistake. Kavayachal Ein Kan Kedusha, there's no more sanctity, there's no more holiness. That connection isn't there anymore. So that's why when it comes by the Par Helm Davar Shel Tzibor, which again the majority of the people sinned, it does not say, it does not mention the word Kodesh. Okay, this is actually TA21. A little bit of a gadata actually. Madua Bepar Helm Davar Loksiv Paroiches HaKodesh. Why doesn't it say the word Kodesh? So again, because the majority of the people sinned, so the king kind of separates himself. Im Ruba Sarcha in Pamal Yishlom is Kayemes. So again, it's like he doesn't have that same chiba for the people as before, which is the same question as TB21, identical. We can only hope that it's going to be an easy test coming up this Sunday. This is not easy Gemara, but some of these questions aren't too bad. I wrote Mashal Melch Basim Adam Shu Kayisal Avadim Shu Oisa Veris Vumasalikas Ekdusha Misham Hoyel Behim Rov. Beautifully written. Beautiful answer. Okay. Lafika Chim Nasan Kulan Ketiknon Tanan Hasam. Pigo Bekaimitz. While you're doing the mincha, you end up having a wrong machshava while you're doing the kmitza. So if you do that, it's only that by the kmitza. Now when it comes to the avoda of the lavona, lavona v'lobekaimitz. So what exactly is that referring to? Let's look in Rashi. Baktaris and mincha, shnei matirin yesh. There's actually 2 matirin. One is the kmitza, and the other one is the frankincense, the lavona. So mihikter es ha'echad b'machshavas pigol the echad b'shtika. So basically, what it's saying is, either way, that it's going to be a problem. So let's say you only did improper machshava by one of the 2 matirin. So Amer Omer Pigo v'chayv v'lav kares v'chamim ein lo kares ashifagol b'chol mater. Right? Question is, you're mefagol b'chatzi mater. So there's 2 matirin. So if you have pigol, On one of them, do we say mafagim b'chatzi matir? Some this is the machlokas. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish lo tema tam Rameir d'ksaber mafagim b'chatzi matir. The reason why Rameir says either way, just with one, is because it's pigel even with one half of a matir. You had the improper machshava when it comes to kmitza. However, the other matir you didn't have that machshava. He just says you go after the first machshava. So it's all totally on. If your first thing was wrong, then we follow the first machshava. If you do everything properly, but if you do one thing wrong, it's possible it's not karis. Ha'achas shelo ketiknan v'kulin ketiknan pigel, which is mashma. If let's say you did one improperly, the rest is proper, it could be pigel, assuming that it was the first thing. So mani ilim rabbanan ho'ami rabbanan mafal b'chatzi mater. The rabbanan say that it can't be because it has to be. You have to have the improper machshava of chutzim zman and chutzim kaimo by both matirin, by the levana and by the kaimitz. Elo Rameir must be there for Rameir, who holds you to be mafal b'chatzi mater. Meantime, the Rameir mishum mafal b'chatzi mater. If that's the reason, though, avil tiny nami, even the way it's said, it's totally the first thing. Well, 1 second. The Rabbanan say that in Mefalgan B'chatzi Matir, so if you only had a thought regarding the Kemitza but not the Levina, that shouldn't be pigel. So Ma Ketiknan Lefigel. Tiny Lefika, Chinasan Kulin Ketiknan, Akshol Ketiknan Puzzle, Vein Bokaris Bechad, the Tiknal Akshir Hudasa. So Rava Maishul Ketiknan wasn't done properly. Chutzim Kaimai. Now you had a different machshava. So you had one machshava of chutzim zman and one chutzim kaimai. Rav Ashi Yomer Shelo Lishmoi. Your machshava was a different machshava, not chutzim zman and chutzim kaimo, but for let's say for a karm chatas, a different Shelo Lishma. Mechal dechilo avid le chutzim zman lim kaimo u'Shelo Lishmo mechayiv. So I did Tanaresha Pigel v'chayiv love kares Tananami Sefer Pigel. Pigel apostle the Ainbo Kares. Okay, there's obviously more to this. We're going to stop there. Let's look at question 10. Pigel b'kaimitz v'lo b'levayin v'lo b'kaimitz, right? And here you have kamitz. You have two matir in here, right? So Rameir Omer Pigel v'chamim Omer v'chayim Kares. So, but my commit for Rameir v'chachamim. So again, one is whether you hold mafagim b'chatzi mater. Rameir holds your mafagim b'chatzi mater, or do we say that you began with pigel v'gamer b'shtika upligi iamrinan on if we say that al das rishaynu oisa, that you did it al das rishaynu. So therefore, since your das originally was on the had a pigel machshava, so therefore that causes problems for everything. Let's see if there's another question here. No, TH22, no. Adkan.